Stakeholders in energy sector have unveiled a strategic blueprint to accelerate the transition to renewable energy in Cross River State. The development was announced during the Energy Cross River Expo 2026 held at Convention Center in Calabar. At the panel session during the expo,
is anymore. Power is purely business. I ask questions. Federal government handed over our power infrastructure to BHED in our own case. And the GMD has stated that Cross River State is a partner, a shareholder in BHED. One simple question that I will answer after my speech. The last board meeting of BHED, who represented Cross River State government?
Government institution, the private sector, civil society organization, and international development partners will play a key role in driving the renewable energy agenda forward. They further stated that by mobilizing resources, expertise, and innovation, Cross River State can deliver impactful projects that will strengthen energy access and promote a cleaner, more sustainable energy future. The Energy Cross River Expo 2026 continued to serve as a platform for dialogue, partnership, and strategic planning aimed at positioning the state as a leader in sustainable energy development in Nigeria.
Come in to generate power. And we also want to get distribution companies to distribute and also transmission companies to transmit. Cross River State government is setting up a regulatory.
My bosses over there.
Speaking further at the event, the distinguished senator also lauded the governor of Cross River and the House of Rep member and some other former speaker and the Commissioner of Information himself.
Deliberate institutional structure reflects long-term.
It's a global world for power, for oil and gas, for crude, and all the other affiliated issues. So maybe one after the other. The holistic strategy is required to ensure that there is buy-in, there is benefits, and there's also downflow of the benefits of energy resources to Cross River State to the rural areas. And the first global strategy that's required is first the state government to have a clear policy direction. A clear policy direction simply means that the state government must build a policy framework that can attract other existing policy activities at global and national level. That means a domestication of different policy models around the world to national and to the state level. Because unless you have a policy structure, you will not be able to build the required institutional capacity. With the policy, you can build institutions. Institutions come with human capacity and come with institutional capacity. Now, the global energy policy and the national energy policy cannot be translated without the capacity of human personnel who have sector-specific knowledge and who have technical capacity on what. So that institutional and that policy framework is also important. The other aspect is infrastructure. The government also needs to leverage and build on existing infrastructure. They are quite expensive, particularly with our own Cross River State station. But that requires global partnership with financial partners and development partners. I mean, development partners is like people who come in with a business case model so that they too can benefit from the structure of what's going on. And then you also need to design, a tax system and a financial system that has a business ease of business model suitable for private businesses. Private businesses are not political parties. They don't calculate their timeline around 3 years or 2 years or 4 years of primary or election. They calculate their around the business case model, business case feasibility. If I put 1 billion naira into the economy, what is the feasibility that I can make inroads, add value, and then also be able to get some profit. And then finally, we also need to build a service economy. A service economy is an economy where people have the capacity to pay for service, where somebody who sets up business can make profit, and where also you will also be able to find people can have value for the goods and services that you are providing. So all of that components put together definitely ensure a seamless delivery system for businesses.
So let's move away from the end. So let's go into the Cross River littoral structures. what is really the argument if you are to tell a gross civilians who will not understand what you just said? What will you tell the person is the argument? Why is the issue? What's the issue? What would you tell the person?
Well, the simple thing is simple analysis. The argument started from ceding of Bakassi to Cameroon, southern Bakassi to Cameroon, retaining western Bakassi in Nigeria, and the argument that the judgment of the ICJ made cross-border non-literacy. In other words, our coastline does not have seaward projection. That means that the Calabar Estuary is no longer flowing to the sea, which is a political interpretation rather than a scientific or geographic or maritime interpretation. Because you should know that maritime law is interpretation of scientific process, not political processes. So the judgment of the Supreme Court did not transfer the Nigerian channel, did not transfer the Nigerian littoral line, because the purpose of the law of the sea is to ensure that all states have access to the sea, the high sea. So beginning from the territorial sea, contiguous or continental shelf, you have access to the sea. So there's what is called the compatibility risk principle. The purpose of the law of the sea is to ensure that no coastline is eliminated from access to the sea. So you cannot say because of the judgment of the Supreme Court that the ICJ hemmed in Nigeria. Cross-river state cannot be a non-littoral state and Nigeria be a littoral state. So if cross-river state is not a littoral state, Nigeria will also not be a littoral state. So that argument about not being a littoral state and all of that is, for me, is a political argument which I think over time it was caused by an administrative injustice, which is why we are going through that same administrative processes to correct it. You can't jump to a court to correct. You cannot get a court. The court is not an administrative institution. So the Supreme Court, you cannot start telling the Supreme Court this map is wrong, this coordinate is wrong. You have to correct the coordinate and the map before you take it to the Supreme Court. So that's what we are doing. Now, being littoral and non-littoral has nothing to do with oil producing. So it's not all the states that are oil producers are littoral states. So you cannot. Imo State is not a littoral state. Abia is not. Edo is not. Anambra is not. But they are oil producers. But as a matter of fact, Imo is the 5th highest oil producing state. They are not a littoral state.
As it stands, Cross River is an oil producing state.
Of course. And the argument, there's no argument. It's a scientific from the baseline of the continental shelf.
For me, one of the main sector of international sponsor, where Cross River State is, it's very vast, and of course, a lot of mineral resources and a lot of resources that add up to energy, sustainability, and the Cross River State are living most of the opportunity. What transformation of Christmas and we're trying to zero since globally everywhere is actually getting into energy sustainability. So we have to put ourselves in line with the world best practices when it comes to the energy sustainability, what can get out of the gold and sell out of it, and of course how we can make our environment and society carbon neutral. So I think for this second edition, it is very hard. We continue to strive our push. We get buying from investors, and of course, this long term, like every person of them, we fully comply with the energy free sustainability system.
And as we stood there, we saw some critical issues on power distribution in the state. Apparently, the people that were around didn't take our matters as seriously as we recognize, because we pay our bills when it falls due as government. Before we came, most of the government establishments were on blackout for years, but we've restored that. And our sit-down today, our presentation today has extracted commitment from them, and we know that most areas that were blacked out also have power distribution. You heard where the commissioner complained about getting transformer and then buying things and the rest around the distribution and all of that. He still does that. It's not in our place to do that because they have transformers to distribute, and then get people to pay just their tariff. That is not a place to do most of the things that they cost us to be doing in Cross River, making it extremely difficult for people to access power. Without power, you won't even have a successful summit. Power is a critical part in any successful economy.
Right.
Without power, our small businesses won't even suffice because they won't even see the daylight. As we speak, power is quite expensive, but with what we're about to do, it is going to be very tolerable for businesses. We are also looking at having sustainable development, and to get that, we need to have the power security fully engaged. That's the essence of this.
Using sustainable finance, how is it the government, is it private partnership, just like yesterday?
Combined.
You know, the
Combined.
when
Yeah.
UBA was here and then talked about linking that to
Everything.
Transcorp and then partnership. That's right. Yes.
You can't do it alone.
Yes, sir.
Private sector can't do it alone because they need the policy makers to help drive it. And government can't do it alone because the infrastructure that is in place needs it to be intertwined by bankers, by those that inventors, and then government will assist in ensuring that the security of their investments. That's it.
Okay, now what would the message be to the investors? Looking at the
For
camera.
the investors, we've already told them that anyone investing in car, we are giving them 5 years grace period. Yeah, for anyone investing in car, and that's the law. Yeah, that's the law. To have 5 years tax-free period is a lot for any investor. And we also promised them to give them an enabling environment to do business. We also told them, that highest time that they'll have allocation of land for any of the investments is 6 days. You can't get it anywhere. 6 days. You'll identify where you're going to site your company, and then the documentation, registration of everything will take you. Yeah, I think that is commendable.
Yeah, kudos to the government.
I will tell you that Senator Prince Bassey Egetutu is not just a man, but he's a God. Why I say he's a God is that his word is his word.
Yeah, that's right.
If he tells you doing it, you just go and sleep into it. When he came, he said he's going to give perseverance, give life to perseverance. You can't give life without light.
Yeah, right.
When God started creation, the first thing he did was he said, "Let there be light," and there has been light. And His Excellency has given us light.
The GM just confirmed that Cross River, they are the highest paid electricity from the
grid. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So if he's not releasing funds, those agencies won't be able to. And then we are not on contractual obligation. We are not owing. I'm speaking as the accountant general of Cross River. Yeah, we are not owing. Once your job is certified as being correct by third parties and the rest, you are paid. You are not paid. And so for anyone doing any business in Cross River, we encourage them because we want to reduce the unemployment rate. We want to also reduce the migration of Cross Riverians from Cross River State to other states or other counties. We are doing all of that to give Cross Riverians the choice of staying at home and making all the billions that they need to make. They don't need to stretch themselves. They don't need to jack back when already our environment is very conducive for business, for living, for anything. Yeah.
Because at this point in time in Cross River State, we needed something like this. We had the first edition before, this is the second edition, and I'm hoping that all the investors are pumped up and ready, because we Cross Riverians were ready. We are ready to receive it and open up the energy sector.
You think the investor confidence are high?
Yes, I think they're high. With what they see here today, I mean, I didn't come for the first and second day. This is the third day. I had to show up here. With what I've listened to all the speakers today, I think any investor should be pumped up and ready. Cross River State is opening up, and it's opening up so quickly. So everybody needs to take advantage of this and come right in.
Your name and your start?
My name is Eprion. With you? I'm a businessman and a consultant.